Everyone. My name's Dan Wildcat. Been here at Haskell for, fortunately, 26 years. And we're, again, just really excited about hosting this event in our partnership with the Pachamama Alliance, with, IEN, and also we're just thankful to make so many new friends and allies. I'm going to try to give a very quick recap of where we've been and what we want to do this afternoon. And then we've asked Dean to sort of step in and try to give us a very quick thumbnail sketch of some of these key issues we think about when we think of this intersection between federal Indian law and what we're talking about, rights of nature, rights of Mother Earth. Man, what incredible presentations over the last couple of days. I agree. Yeah, absolutely. Wild law, foundations of indigenous thought. I'm now never going to use the term doctrine of discovery again. I will refer to it as the doctrine of domination, as Steve Newcomb let us know. That's really the appropriate way to designate that. So let's think right now at the halfway point about where we've been very quickly. Yesterday afternoon was incredible because I think listening to the report outs, what we heard is that we are dealing with difficult discussions, difficult issues. We're not all in the same place. We're not all at the same level, looking at things the same way. And that is not a bad situation. That is a good situation. Because I think if we can keep our eye on what modestly could come out of this meeting, that will really be monumental. It may seem like a very small thing, but monumentally, if we keep our eye on this notion that wouldn't it be nice tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow morning, we're able to state fairly elegantly basic principles that we all agree with and are willing to adopt and accept so that we can practically, in a very pragmatic, practical way, move these principles of rights of Mother Earth forward. I mean, if we can do that, because look in this room. We've got all kinds of people here. We've got people from literally all four directions. And I think the beautiful thing about what we're doing here in terms of looking at these issues and drawing on this overlooked inheritance, indigenous inheritance of wisdom, and I do mean that. It's an inheritance. You can have an inheritance and people sometimes walk away from it. They don't even recognize it. And I think we live in a world today where, due to colonial interruption, a lot of people, what was someone said the other day, that some people have lost their way, but we haven't lost our ways. And if we can keep that in mind, as that's really what we're talking about, how we will behave responsibly as Lenape, as Lakota, as Anishinaabe, as Seminole, as Dene human beings, then we have a powerful collection of wisdom to share with all humanity on this planet. So we need to pat ourselves on the back on that, because I think that's where we're at right now. We're having that discussion. We're going to continue it this afternoon. We're going to encourage everyone to continue this discussion and push it forward as you can. We don't have any preconceived notions, but we did have some questions. We're going to ask the facilitators to keep pushing those questions forward, keep that discussion, because it would be beautiful tomorrow if we could get to the point to where we could talk about next steps, because that's what we all want to do. I do not want to leave here, and I won't. I'll just go 2 buildings down to my office again on Monday morning. But I don't want to sit there and I don't want to be thinking about, well, gee, that was a great meeting, and then I get tied up with everything else and don't pick up on and apply exactly what we've talked about here. So let me suggest where we're going very briefly, and then I want to recognize Dean, and he's going to say something before we break into our groups. Candy's going to get up. We're going to count off again, and we're getting into groups. Please stay with us. Don't go off, okay? We need you. This is where the heavy lifting comes in, and we're going to do a report out after that. But here's something to think about in terms of where we're going. Have you guys all heard that saying? I don't know who said it. I can't give the proper attribution, but it goes something like this. If you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. Guess what? I'm not lost. I'm not lost. I know where I stand. I honor my relatives, all of my relatives. And our strength comes not in some economic miscalculation of how many resources we own. We know, everyone in this room, our strength resides in the number of good relatives we can claim. Good relationships. And I tell you what, we're rich, aren't we, Billy? We're rich here. And so let's move forward thinking how we can build on these relationships. Some of you I've never met before, but we're going to meet again, and we're going to work together again. So one of the things I would suggest we think about as we move forward, let's think about ways in which we can build on this energy here, this wisdom, this knowledge, and practically apply it. And one of the things we can do is make sure that we keep these relationships, this network, whatever you want to call it, intact, growing, and expanding. I think the thing to follow up on Clayton's thing, this will be my last words, and then I want to give Dean an opportunity to speak. You're right about climate change. You know, the thing about climate change, it's similar to the way the salamanders down in the wetlands behave. You can ask Dr. Haynes about that. It's similar to the way the deer behave. It's similar to the way the eagle behaves. And that is that why is it the balance of nature, other than our human nature, other than our human selves and cultural expressions of self, why is it that they don't recognize nation-state political boundaries? Well, I think it's because they've got a better sense of place than we do. It's one that we ought to try to adopt. And it also reminds me that we're all in this together. We are all related. We're all in this together. Let's keep the good thought. Let's be respectful. Let's be honest. Let's move forward. Not because, we're trying to find some place to go to, but because, I guess we are. We're all roamers here, aren't we? We're all roamers. We're rights of Mother Earthers. And we got Dene, rights of Mother Earthers. We've got Lenape. We've got Anishinaabe. And, we know where our home is, this beautiful Mother Earth. So keep up the good